The Burdge Law Office specializes in RV lemon law nationwide. The following is not legal advice. For additional information, see rvlemonlaw.com.
And welcome to today's video, everybody. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, and we are continuing to talk about RV lemon law. Now, if you've watched the other videos from this week, I have a favor to ask. Drop a comment down below, if you would, please, if you find this information to be helpful. If you have questions or a topic that you would like to hear discussed by Ron Burdge, the RV Lemon Lawyer, drop those down as well. In the description, if you'd rather not leave it in a comment, but you'd like to send me an email or leave me a voicemail message, my contact information is in the description of this video. So I'm not sure if it's the word more or description down below here, but you can click on it to get a hold of me personally. All right, so today, we're going to be talking about the very first step that every new RV buyer should take. Most people don't, and I hope you'll never need it, but I'll promise you, if you do need it, you're going to wish you did this. We have talked an awful lot before about something that you call a defect diary. And I'd like to, for somebody who doesn't know what a defect diary is, how does somebody start one? The preferred time to start one is obviously when you buy a new RV, but
exactly.
How does somebody, what is it? Talk to me, and why is it important?
Couple of tips on that. First of all, when you buy an RV, before you ever sign to drive it off, either one of those things, go through it, and anything that's wrong, refuse to take it. Make them fix it right then. That is also when you start your diary. You need to make a daily entry if you have a daily problem. You need to make sure that diary starts, and you just make a note every time something's wrong. You want to put down the date, the time, if you're talking to somebody, what it was you said, what they said, who they are, who they work for, so that you've got a record of it. This is one of those Murphy's Law things. As sure as you do it, everything will get taken care of and you won't need it. As sure as you don't do it, 8 months or a year from now, you'll wish you had.
What if I didn't start one? I bought my RV 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and now I'm kicking myself because I should have done all this stuff. Is it too late for me to start a defect diary, or what do I do?
No, it's not too late, but the way to start it at that point basically is to get all your repair paperwork together, any calendar notes of trips or whatever you have, spread it out on the kitchen table on a Saturday morning and fix yourself a pot of coffee. And then basically recreate what would have been the diary you could have been making as best you can remember it. And then when you get to today's date, from then on, keep it going. And your diary, by the way, it should not be a collection of one-slip pieces of paper. It ought to be a notebook, one of those 8.5, 11 things that you used to take to high school when you were a kid, spiral bound or whatever, so that you don't lose the pages. And then just keep making it every time something comes up.
When is it too late to call an RV a lemon? After a year, 2 years, 3 years? Is there such thing as a 5-year-old lemon RV?
Oh, yeah. Lemons can be around forever. They can become a lemon later, or they can become a lemon the day you drive it off before you even see it, for that matter. But being able to do something about it depends on the state you bought it, the law they have there, and what the paperwork, the warranty says. There are some states that say that a manufacturer cannot shorten that time limit that the state law gives you to file a claim. There aren't many that say that. Most states say that the manufacturer can do it. So it's real important to read those warranties and know what your rights are and what your time limits are.
I know on your website, rvlemonlaw.com, you've got a free evaluation, I guess you call it. If I think that I might have a lemon RV, I can go and learn an awful lot. It's a terrific resource. Of the people that go there and enter their information, how many of those are legitimate? About, I mean, half, less than half. Obviously, probably 100% of them are pretty upset, or they wouldn't be going to your website. But how many of them?
I think it's safe to say that really the vast majority of them, if not all of them, are legitimate complaints. The problem isn't really whether it's a true or false sort of a scenario in our experience. You know, people don't call lawyers about problems that don't exist. They have better things to do in life. if you look at the complaints that we're getting, those are real. What becomes a problem is when they've waited too long. Then it's whether or not it's a good case that you can actually proceed with, as opposed to having to say, I wish you'd called me 2 months ago.
If I'm going to sue, do I sue the manufacturer or you on my behalf? Will you be suing the dealer or the manufacturer or both?
It depends on the situation. There is such a thing as fraudulent sales practices. There also may be a warranty that comes from the selling dealer, or you may just simply have the manufacturer's warranty. So what you end up having to do is essentially look to see where your legal rights go. One of those may be against the selling dealer. In a lot of states, there's what's called an automatic implied warranty, and that usually comes only from the seller of the goods. And if you're in one of those states, and the odds are right off the bat, you probably are, well, then you got to look at the sales paperwork and see if the sales paperwork has words in it that say you don't get it. And if you don't get it and you sign on it, well, basically you gave it up before you even knew you were having it. Then you have to turn and look at the manufacturer's part. So fundamentally what you're looking for is, do you have a legitimate defect, and who's responsible for that, and who can be liable for it, because the liability can run to the dealer depending on the paperwork that's involved. And then the second thing you want to look for is, did somebody lie to you? Because that's outright fraud. If somebody lied to you and it cost you money in some sort of a way, then that can be fraud. And then it's purely a matter of who lied to you.
But that's when you need to have some kind of documentation to prove it. I mean, right? You need to have a defect diary that, Joe Blow said this on this date, whatever it happens to be. Documentation is critically important, I would think, if somebody's going to claim fraud.
Absolutely. Documentation is always important for everything in life, frankly. Either that or a recording. And in many states, you are allowed to record a conversation, whether it's on the phone or not. But you have to be careful. There's some states where you're flat out not allowed. There's a website you can go to find out what your rights are when it comes to being able to tape record a conversation, whether it's on the phone or in person or whatever. And if you just do a search for the term, "Can I tape?" that'll take you to it. And then that website actually is one that was put up by a newspaper reporters organization so that the reporters would know when they can tape. And having the paperwork, that's great. But you know what? When you've got a recording of somebody saying something to you that's a lie, that's gold.
Yeah, but you better not break the law. You need to find out what state, because if it's got to be two parties consent, you don't want to go, you don't want to tell the dealer, "Hey, I'm recording you." I mean, you might want to, but don't break the law.
And the way that the website I'm talking about and the law, the way that it explains it is, there's either one party consent, which means if you got two people, one of them knows it's being recorded, and then that makes it legal and it can be used no matter what. If it's a two-party state, they both have to know, or else it's totally illegal and you can't do it. There are a few rare instances where you don't have to say anything at all, and you may not even know that you're recording it or the other side is recording it, and you're just stuck with it. But for the most part, it's either a one-party state or a two-party state.
I got to tell you, Ron has got such great information. And what I'm going to close with, this is just my opinion, but we live in such challenging times today. I believe, and it's only human nature, we're all human, I think that human beings are under more stress than ever before. And because of that, I think that some of them at an RV dealership, or pretty much anywhere, will have a tendency to bend the truth. You know what I'm talking about? Pay attention to that. Listen with not just your brain, but your gut. Listen to what they say with your gut. And don't go breaking the law, like Ron Burdge was saying. But if you can document, if you can record any conversations, if you feel like, I'm not sure if this is kosher or not, do it. But again, don't break the law. Thank you so much for watching this week. I've got some more videos with Ron Burdge. Again, if you have a question for the RV Lemon Lawyer, or I don't know, a topic that you would like to have him discuss, or you've got a horror story maybe, I'd like to hear from you. My contact information is in the description, or you can drop a comment down in the comment area down below. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, one more thing. If you think you have a lemon RV, Ron Burdge's law firm will give you a free evaluation by a real RV Lemon lawyer. No obligation, no cost. I say don't go out and pay a lawyer anything until you at least go and fill out this little form and have an actual Lemon lawyer look at it and say, I think you may have a claim. Then you can go out and spend some money, but don't spend the money if you don't have to. So, and that information, all the links and everything to people that I do consulting work with is down in the description. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you next time.